Good morning, students. So, today's topic that we would like to discuss is the Beer-Lambert's law or Lambert-Beer's law. Actually, this is a combination of two laws, Lambert's law and Beer's law, and together they are saying that Beer's-Lambert's law. So, we will discuss in separate the Lambert's law and then Beer's law, and togetherly the Beer's-Lambert's law. Okay. So when a radiation fall upon a system, it may be reflected, transmitted, scattered, or absorbed. I mean, anything can happen. The light that is passing through the medium is called the transmitted light. That means a light of in a particular intensity fall upon a system that is basically transparent medium or may absorb. Okay, and the light that is passing through this medium in the same direction, okay, is called the transmitted light, and the light that is fall upon the system before passing through the medium is called the incident light. uh, the light that is passing through the medium is called the transmitted light, and examination of the intensity of the transmitted light may be an indicator for the estimating the amount of the radiation that is absorbed. If you examine how much light is coming after passing through this medium, gives you an idea that how much light is absorbed during this process. The intensity I is defined as the energy falling on unit area perpendicular to the beam direction per unit time. That means the intensity is basically defined as such a quantity that the how much energy falling on unit area perpendicular to the beam direction means it's not just suppose a light coming from this upward direction fall on a area of unit cross section, and how much a photon or how much energy is falling on that direction. This is the direction of this falling of my incident radiation, and the area is just perpendicular to this direction. So if n number of photons is falling on that area per unit time, that amount is my intensity. It is proportional to the number of photons incident on unit area in unit time. Now, the law of absorption of radiation by a transparent medium was studied by J.H. Lambert in 1760 and is generally referred to as the Lambert's law. So, what is the law? Lambert's law. So let's go to the Lambert's law. This law states that when a beam of monochromatic radiation passes through a transparent medium, mind it, transparent medium in the sense that the medium which allow the light to pass through. That means if this medium is not like that, it's totally black, or in such a medium, such a dense medium that light can even can't pass through this medium, not this type of medium. It's such a medium that light can absorb, but light can be absorbed, but it doesn't mean that light cannot pass through ultimately through this medium, transparent in that sense only. So this law states that when a beam of monochromatic radiation or light passes through a transparent medium, the rate of the decrease of intensity of the radiation with thickness of the medium is proportional to the intensity of the radiation fall on it. That means when a beam of monochromatic radiation passes through a transparent medium, the rate of decrease of intensity means before it coming passing through the medium, and after when it pass through this medium, the intensity difference, that is the decrease in intensity, that quantity with distance or with optical path length or with thickness of the medium is proportional how much intense light you are using. If you are using intense light, then the this quantity is also decreasing, and if you use some low intensity light, then this quantity is still decreasing. So let if di be the decrease in the intensity of the incident radiation I for a path length of dl, then minus di by dl is proportional to I. This is the Lambert's law. The rate of decrease of intensity of the incident radiation with thickness of the medium is proportional to the intensity of the radiation. So minus di by dl is proportional to I. So minus di by dl equal to ki, because we know that when we have to replace a proportional sign, we have need on proportionality constant. So k is here is a proportionality constant. So if I little bit arrange this equation, minus di by I, just keep the I here and dl here, equal to k dl, or di by I equal to minus of k dl. Now we would like to integrate this equation in indefinite manner. So integrating, we get di by I gives you the ln I. This is the formula. So ln I equal to minus k into L, because integration of dl gives you the total path length L, plus one integration constant will come because we are doing some indefinite integration. So when L equal to 0 means before it passing through the medium, the intensity was the incident intensity. If I call this as I0, then I integration constant IC equal to ln I0. Just a minute. I0 is the intensity of the incident radiation, and I is the value of the I0 when the length is L. That means when the light beam passing through the medium of L length or L distance, then its intensity becomes I. So and I is the value of I0 when the length is L. It is thus defined in most of the books, or it is convenient to use the IT. Okay, that means basically it is the transmitted light that is passing through this medium, and the intensity IT is the intensity of the transmitted light. So I, which are generally used as I, is basically IT. Hence ln IT equal to minus k into L plus ln I0. I just putting the value of integration constant ln I0. So if I manipulate this thing, means if I transfer ln IT in that side and KL in that side, then the equation becomes ln I0 minus ln IT equal to k into L, and we know that ln x minus ln y equal to ln x by y. So ln I0 by IT equal to k into L, or ln IT by I0 equal to minus KL, because I just inverse this order. So IT equal to I0 e to the power minus k into L. Or if I use this from this equation 3, if I change the ln, means natural logarithm to 10 base logarithm, then the equation becomes log IT by I0 equal to minus k by 2.303 into L, and this is basically small k, and this whole quantity minus small k by k by 2.303, if I replace by capital K, so the equation becomes minus capital K into L, where small k is termed as the absorption coefficient, and the capital K is termed as the absorptivity or the extinction coefficient. The extinction coefficient is the reciprocal of the thickness required to reduce the radiation to 1/10 of its intensity. That means the definition of AK you can see from here. If IT by I0 equal to 1 by 10th, means the intensity of the incident light to reduce 1/10 of its intensity, then how much distance you have to cover, that quantity is K. Okay, the extinction coefficient is the reciprocal of thickness required to reduce the radiation to 1/10 of its intensity. So obviously we know that IT by I0 equal to 1/10. So if I put in place of IT by I0 1/10, though then in the equation becomes log I 1/10 equal to minus KL, and if I change it to minus log 10 equal to minus KL, so minus minus cancel, so log 10 means 1, so K equal to 1 upon L. Okay, so units of kappa or the absorptivity is semi-inverse in CGS system, and the quantity IT by I0 is termed as the transmittance. Only IT by I0, only the quantity IT by I0 is termed as transmittance, and the quantity log I0 by IT, log I0 by IT is defined as the absorbance or optical density. They are same. So absorbance or optical density equal to log I0 by IT. So till now we have discussed about the Lambert's law, that means how the intensity of the incident radiation decreases with distance. Okay, and now we would like to focus on the Beer's law. So for a solution in which the chemical formula of the absorbing species does not change with concentration, then the absorptivity means K will be proportional to the concentration of the absorbing species, so that K equal to a new quantity epsilon into C. So this new quantity epsilon is called the molar absorption or the extinction coefficient or the molar absorptivity. The effect of concentration was studied by A. Beer in 1852, and the combined law is termed as Lambert-Beer's law or Beer-Lambert's law. So what is the Beer's law? It states that the rate of decrease of intensity of radiation with thickness of the medium is proportional to the intensity of the radiation and the concentration of the light absorbing species. So the intensity of the radiation, thickness of the medium is proportional to the intensity of radiation is from Lambert's law, and the concentration of the light means this is coming from the Beer's addition, Beer's law. Okay, so thus minus di by dl equal to epsilon prime into c into I, or di by I equal to minus epsilon c into dl, or ln it by I0. Means if I integrate this equation between the limits it by I0, means at I0 by IT. So lower limit is I0 when the length becomes 0, and the higher limit becomes IT when the length of this path when the optical path length is L. So ln it by I0 equal to minus epsilon prime into c into L. Or if I change this quantity from natural logarithm to 10 base logarithm, so it becomes log it by I0 equal to minus epsilon prime by 2.303 into c into L. Okay, so if I now call this new quantity minus epsilon prime by 2.303 as only epsilon, then the equation becomes log it by I0 equal to minus epsilon into c into L, or it equal to I0 10 to the power minus epsilon CL. This is coming from directly equation because this is 10 base equation. If I change this equation, then this equation becomes, if I just transfer this log log to here, then it becomes 10, means 10 power. So it by I0 equal to 10 to the power minus epsilon CL, or log I0 by IT, which is basically known as optical density or absorbance, equal to epsilon into c into L. So this is the Lambert-Beer's law or combined Lambert-Beer's law. And now we would like to discuss about the limitations of this Lambert-Beer's law, because we know that Lambert-Beer's law is depending on the two terms, the concentration of the light absorbing species and the optical path length of these light absorbing species, and various other factors, because we generally mention in the equation when a beam of monochromatic light, then why we should always mention monochromatic light, not the mixture of different lights, because we know that all the lights are not absorbing by the molecules. The molecules which you have taken, or which is our choice of interest, depending on a particular wavelength, means it will absorb only some particular wavelength light. That's why we have to always use monochromatic light. Okay, so now let's go to the limitation part. What are the limitations of the Lambert-Beer's law? So Lambert-Beer's law will not be valid if the chemical formula of the absorbing species changes with concentration. That means you are taking a particular concentration of solution, very dilute, means 10 to the power minus 4 molar, then you successively increasing the concentration of the absorbing species. Then up to one limit or up to certain limit, this rule means the absorbance, this is from this equation I can say that absorbance A or OD equal to epsilon CL. Okay, this is the simple y equal to mx type equation, means here y is the absorbance and epsilon into L. If I also restrict the optical path length is 1 centimeter or a particular value, then epsilon into L is a constant quantity, only variable is C. So this is basically m into x. So this is basically y equal to mx type equation. So now at that condition, if I just increase the concentration from a certain limit, which I have just mentioned, 10 to the power minus 4 molar, to with successive way we just increasing the concentration, then up to certain limits or up to a particular value of the concentration, the equation follow the linear fashion, means y equal to mx. But after that, when the chemical formula of the absorbing species also change with higher concentration, means as the concentration becomes so high, then the chemical formula that we have taken before or in the dilute solution, whatever it present, it may not be present in the concentrated form also. So at that time or at that condition, the Lambert's-Beer's law is not valid. So Lambert's-Beer's law will not be valid if the chemical formula of the absorbing species changes with concentration. The chemical form of the species may change because of the factors like association, complete complex formation, dissociation, etc. And this law governs the absorption behavior of dilute solution only. Okay, so every time you have to mention, because in the laboratory also whenever we check this equation, because probably you have, or in the previous semester you have this experiment, that's validity of the Lambert's-Beer's law, means then you have to take the concentration range from 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the minus 4 range, not more than that, because if you increase the concentration to some molar range or semi-molar range, then this rules is not valid, because at that concentration, high concentration, the changes of the molecular formula takes place because of that. Okay, and another restriction of this equation or limitation is the Lambert-Beer's law is not valid or obeyed if the radiation used is not monochromatic. So we have to always use a particular wavelength light for a particular substance. Depending on the substance, what type of substance you are using, you have to fix the wavelength or the frequency of this light. So if you're not doing that, then also Lambert-Beer's law is not valid. So these are the two main limitations. Apart from that, at higher concentration, sometimes the refractive index of the medium also change. It's not basically simply n, where n is the refractive index. Generally we use this term, but at higher concentration n is modified. So this also is third limitation I can say, but I have not mentioned here. Okay, in the dilute solution range, the A equal to epsilon Cl, or I have just arranged it, if I take L as a constant, then epsilon into L is a new constant, so they behaves like a constant into C. So this is basically y equal to m into x type plot. So if I plot C or x in the x direction and y or absorbance in the y direction, then a straight line is coming with which is passing through the origin. That means at x equal to 0, then y equal to 0, and successively its value increasing. And the limitation is if I up to look, this is the experimental curve, and the concentration range may vary from to a particular lower concentration to certain higher concentration. Okay, so up to that point we get a linear curve, means y equal to mx type equation is followed, and we can say that up to that point Lambert's-Beer's law is obeyed by the solution. But after that, when the deviation from linearity takes place, then this part is not valid for Lambert-Beer's law, because they are not following the linear equation. And this is because the deviation from the linear behavior can takes place from any reason, means the compound, the chemical compound that are using may dissociate within the solution, may undergo association, may undergo any complex formation with itself or with solvent molecules also. Many things can happen. Okay, so because of that, its absorbance value, means whatever the resultant species is formed, its absorbance value is not exactly same as the absorbance value of the chemical species that we have chosen. So because of that, deviation takes place, and at that condition this part is not come under the Lambert's-Beer's law. Okay.